Today, I'm going to be sharing how we are implementing AI agents into my company. Also, going to talk about some big changes that are coming up as we scale from 1 to 5 million in revenue, which we've been talking about this over the past couple of videos. And I'm mostly doing this because it helps me be transparent, but also maybe it will help someone else as they're scaling their business as well. So, some of the things that we've been working on from an AI perspective is building out these AI agents. So, on ChatGPT, you can actually build out my GPTs, and I did this about a year ago where I built one out for me. So I trained this GPT, we call it the Flash GPT, but I basically trained it on me. And so it knows exactly what I say and how I say things. And then I funnel in all the videos from our channel and from our blog content, and I funnel it in. It's training this GPT. And the cool thing about this is that at any given time, I can say, hey, write this as if it was me, or I can say to my team, hey, use this thing and then write this. And the best thing that I found, there's two things. The first thing is when I create short form content, I post a lot on LinkedIn. I can take the video transcript from that video and then plug it into my GPT and say, hey, write a LinkedIn post that sounds like me, and then follow this basic prompt. And then it will say, hey, yep, here you go. The other thing that's been really cool is if you take a video that you find on YouTube. Let's say there's some really big expert that you're like, I love this guy's content or this woman's content. And this video, I wonder how I could apply this hour-long video to my business. You can take that video, get the transcript of it, and then you can put it into one of these GPTs that knows about your company, right? It knows my goals, it knows my team, it knows the roles that I have inside of my business, just because I've been prompting it with questions and asking it things. And I take that transcript from one of these videos and I put it into my GPT and say, please review this information and tell me how I can incorporate this in my business. And it will give me takeaways. And then I can ask it, like, over the next 6 months, what should I do? Or right now, like, what do I need to do? And it basically breaks everything down. Another way that I use this was I download, on YouTube, they have these like pre-roll videos and people are downloading like documents or giving away free things. If you download this, I'll take those documents and then I'll copy them, put them into my GPT and say, like, make this super simple and how can I implement it in my business? So that's how I've been using it personally with these AI agents from a business perspective. So my company, we do digital marketing consulting for home service businesses. So we have a lot of SOP driven tasks that we do every single month that might shift a little bit based off of the clients that we're working with. So we've been training GPTs on our SOPs and then also on our clients' information and then pairing them up to work with unique content based off of our clients' GPT and then our SOPs. So it's basically like this thing that's working in the background that's creating things for us. That's this GPT, these AI agents. I could see in the future where there's so many cool things that are out there where you can like connect different GPTs and say, or not even GPTs, but connect different processes and say like, hey, okay, go over here, pull this thing, go over here, plug this in over here. And there's these agents that are basically working in the background on stuff. So pretty cool with AI agents. I feel like right now we're in February 2025. I think that like in the next year, by 2026, AI agents is going to be a pretty normal thing. So we work with home service businesses, and so they already have AI answering services. They already have they're on the cusp of getting these AI outbound calls where people can call, AI agents can call outbound and schedule appointments. So it's all getting there. I feel like in 2025, 2026, there's going to be this AI agents that are very easy to plug into your business. Right now, it's kind of hard. You have to be a little bit technical. You have to be able to connect some of the dots and put things together. I think there's going to be more out of the box solutions that are like, hey, plug this thing in and it's going to run this type of thing for you and it's going to be done. All you have to do is like answer a couple prompts. So I could definitely see that coming up. Some of the things that are really scaring me, like as a business going from 1 million to 5 million, is up until about $1 million. And I talked about this on the channel about like creating a debt-free business and how that's been something that's very important to me. And up until about like, I would say like 7 or 800,000, I was really optimizing towards profit. And I have Mike McCallix on my podcast, and we talked about for this profit first mindset, which is it's not just like, oh, take profit to be this greedy guy. It's about when you run your business, you should always be making sure that there's a profit margin that you're allocating. So that way you're truly running a business, not just owning a job. And so up until about 800,000, maybe even, 800,000, my profit margins were really good. And I was sticking heavily to like, I need to have this solid profit. And we still have profit in the business. But what happened is when I got to $1 million, I started to really focus on I need to build out my team. I need to start buying back my time and letting other people focus on what they do best. And it's scary, I would say, for two parts. The first reason that it's scary is because now the profit that I have, I'm reinvesting it back into the business. So it's not really true profit, I would say, but it is profit that I'm taking out of the business, then reinvesting it back in. And then it's lowering my profit, but the goal is to scale. So the first thing that's scaring me is like, I used to be more in the scarcity mindset of things like, oh my gosh, like what happens if this, what happens if that. And now I have shifted to the abundance mindset, which is like there's so much opportunity out there. I just need to do a better job of getting the word out there, better sales, better marketing team, so that way I can get more sales in the door. But like my business could realistically be a 10 to $20 million business. I just need to execute and get there, and I can't play scared. And what that specifically means is that the hustler, me, who can figure everything out and do everything, must die, and the leader must be born. So I have to bring people on, and then I have to lead a team and a vision. So that's the first thing that's been scary. The second thing that's been scary is because it's like I'm building this team and like stuff has to start to happen. It's I can't be the one that's I don't know what's going on all the time. And for anyone that's trying to scale their business 1 to 5 million, 1 to 10 million, you may have unlocked this already, which is like you can't know what's going on all the time, but then you only get the bad information. So you might get some good positive feedback here and there, but usually people are bringing you problems to solve all day long. And some of the things that I've been working on, I'm in this Dan Sullivan's coaching program called Strategic Coach. And they talk a lot about having this self-managing company that's managing itself. And it sounds like frou-frou and like, yeah, that must be so nice. But a lot of it is like, okay, we need to have our processes dialed in. We need to have great team members that are asking questions before they come to us. And then they're just saying, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And that's something a lot of times that I've been focusing on. I actually have this thing on my desk right here. My job as the owner is to identify constraints, solve the constraints, and repeat. And it can be very taxing at the end of the day or week where it's like over and over, where's the constraint? How can I solve the constraint? Trying to solve the constraint, but it doesn't fix the constraint. And then repeating that process every single day, every single week is like, what's the constraint right now? How can I solve that constraint? And it can be very daunting and also very lonely because unless you're around other business people that feel the same way or are going through the same process, you're just dealing with your team and they're in the day to day of it, and you're trying to work with them, support them to solve all these problems in your business, and you have to change your hats and you have to say, okay, I'm going to do this and then focus on this problem. So that's something that's been scaring me from a good scare. Like, don't just be complacent and sit back and say, oh, I have this great company that's making this profit, and all that's good and well. And I was talking to a guy on the phone, and he was saying, I feel a little bit of complacent, and he was probably like maybe like $500,000 or $600,000, and I was in this similar situation. And this framework really helped me is that you can be content without being complacent. And so I am content with, my lifestyle and what I have going on, but that doesn't mean that I should be complacent in the sense of like, don't push yourself. And I'm a Christian. There's the parable in the Bible where it talks about like taking your talents and hiding them, or taking your talents and multiplying them. And I really feel like the more that I push myself and try to multiply my specific talents and build a quality team, that I'm truly doing what I'm supposed to do, and not just sit there and hide my stuff and just say, oh, this is what I got, and hold it to myself, because that's not using my talents to help other people and make money, really, was what it comes down to as well. So that's what's been scaring me. Some things that I've been thinking about. So I have these goals that I follow every day. I look at my goal list, and there's about 5 or 6 goals on there. I want to get to a certain amount of revenue. I want a certain amount of clients. I want to do something personal. Like I want to go for a solo camping trip, and a couple other things on there. Well, one of them is with one of the things below all my goals is this segment from Dan Martell, who he has a great book called Buy Back Your Time, which I highly recommend it if you haven't read it before. But in this video clip segment, he tells a story of one of his private coaching clients. They come to him and they say, okay, over the next 10 years, I want to build $100 million business. And he's like, okay, what if you had to do that in 1 year? Would you be able to do it on a scale of 1 to 10? Would you be able to do it? And they said, maybe like a 3 or 4. And he's like, okay, what if I told you that in order to hit 100 million, if you didn't hit 100 million, you had to actually shut down all of your bank accounts and you could never start another business again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you would hit this 100 million? And they said, it's a 10. And he said, well, what changed? And really what changed was the motivation aspect of it, which had that driving force. And he tells, there's this math equation, or something like that. But basically, the task that you're doing will expand to the time that you give it. If you say, okay, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to make this by next week, well, then you're going to expand your task. But if you say, okay, I'm going to make this video today or right now or this hour, then it constricts the time that you have. And what that forces you to do is to not make things so complicated. It forces you to make it very simple. And in that clip, he says, make it a must, not a nice to have. And a lot of times for me, when I think about scaling the business, like my scarcity mindset says, oh, well, it's a nice to have. It would be nice to have to hit this goal. But it's like, no, this is a must because I'm forcing myself, right? I'm building my team. I'm actively investing money back into my business, and it's increasing my expenses, but it's forcing me to grow because it's a must, not a nice to have. And when I say forcing me to grow, it's forcing me to help more clients. It's forcing me to build a great company for our team. It's forcing me to solve a bunch of new problems that I didn't solve before. And I don't want to play the same game over and over again. I got to go play new games. So that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is how can I compress my timeline and force myself to do things just based off this compressed timelines, which is talking about it, right? When I share things like this, I share, hey, I'm going to go to $5 million. It's like, I'm putting this out into the world. So I actively need to be doing this. So that way what I say is matching up with what I do. So hopefully this was helpful for you. These are the 3 things that I'm going through, things that I've been working on, things that are currently scaring me that I'm taking risks on, and then what I've been actively thinking about. If this stuff resonates with you or you find value in this type of content, if you drop a comment, maybe questions or ideas or a like, that really helps me out. Let me know that you like this kind of stuff and I'll continue to make it. And be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.